Hello and welcome to World Talks on TVP World with me, Ashim Kumar. The European Union is weighing a membership light plan that could grant Ukraine partial access to EU structures as early as next year. Meanwhile, Kyiv is seeking a deeper defence cooperation in Brussels, and a Ukrainian Olympian's qualification over a war tribute has sparked outrage. Joining us is a Member of Parliament, Mariia Ionova, Ukrainian MP and co-founder of the Ukrainian Women's Congress. Mariia, welcome to TVP World, and thank you very much for taking the time.
Thank you for inviting.
It's a pleasure. So let's start with EU access for Ukraine. How would you characterize the status of those talks?
First of all, as I'm in the process of European integration for more than, if I can say, even 10 years. It's not only about even more. This Russian aggression is 12 years, because I was chairing the Committee on European Integration starting from 2015. We understand that our relations with the European Union is really very special, comprehensive, and historical, if even I can say. So we have a different way, and we have to become a member of European Union and believe that for Ukrainian society, for Ukrainian nation, it is really about values and principles. And that we are paying for this really huge price, starting from Revolution of Dignity. And that is why now when we hear such, if I can say, sorry if I'm not very diplomatic, it's like quasi-integration, quasi-membership, because now we hear only talks. We cannot see we didn't see as even parliamentarians any real documents, any propositions. Of course, membership to EU and NATO, it is in our constitution of Ukraine. So it is our course, it's our path. Ukrainian nation would like to see our country as a sovereign, as an independent, and a membership in the EU and NATO. But of course, first of all, we have to fulfill our reforms, because European integration for us, it's not only obligations and criteria. We understand that this is an interest of our country to provide all these reforms and to be a reliable partner. When we are talking about this proposition from our European friends, of course, we understand that it is a hard work. This should be a unity in European Union, and we also understand that we have to be more serious and to cooperate and to find the compromise with Hungary. But I think that now we see how Americans are very active.
I want to talk about the external influences, but before we get there, Mariia, how are the preparations for membership going within Ukraine?
Here I can I will not be so optimistic, because of course nowadays the priority for us is security and defense, and we really appreciate that European Union has made such proposition, and we also have heard about the Article 42.7 regarding the security and all the agreement on the European Union. But again, we still have to provide a lot of even informational communications. What is Article 42? And also for Ukrainian people, of course, it's a goal to become a full membership. Not only to have a flag, but really to have a full membership, not like imitation of the membership, because we really would like also, there are so many questions. Yes, if we will have our commission, if we will be elected in the European Parliament, how will be institution structure, how it will be the budgeting. So it's so many questions. But of course, we also realize that unfortunately, for example, I can't say that we are very good in our agenda, because you know that fundamental cluster is not open. So we still have a problem with the rule of law, with democracy, with the position, and with the position leaders. We see how Poroshenko is still under sanction. By the way, today is 1 year, and in the court we still didn't get any information from the government. So why the sanctions have been introduced to Poroshenko? So what is the reason? We didn't have any documents for this. So that is why I think that the rule of law and all the fundamentals, we still have to work on them. But of course, on other tracks, we are trying to do our best. But when we every day we have air alarms, we have attacks. You know that today again we had attacks, missiles attack from Russia Federation to Kiev, to Lviv, to Kharkiv. It's really very critical situation with energy in Ukraine, with heating, with water. Especially now, it's really very complicated in Kharkiv.
No,
so
I don't think, Mariia, I'm sorry, but we do have a lot to cover. I don't think anyone can underestimate the level of difficulties you must be facing, being, you know, under attack as you are at the moment, which actually brings me on to an external issue, if you like. Now, Russia is clearly very unhappy with the idea of Ukraine joining the European Union, as is Hungary. Tell me what objections they have and what plans Ukraine has to overcome those objections.
First of all, of course, Russia demonstrates that they do not respect any negotiation process, because we see all these attacks every day. And unfortunately, we still don't have any ceasefire. So that is why, if you ask me about the negotiation process, that we stuck on the territorial question, it's partly true, because Russians, they, you know, for them, Donetsk and Lugansk region, it's not enough. Their goal is to damage and to crush the whole sovereignty and the whole country. And that is why I think that they just, you know, are playing the game with our American partners, which is really sad for us. But of course, Ukraine is looking, and we are ready for all these peaceful negotiations, at least to discuss. But regarding Hungary,
how does Russia feel about the idea of Ukraine joining the European Union? What specifically?
Oh, they're hysterical. It's the same. Sorry to have a rhetorical question. We do not care what Russia thinks about our membership on EU and NATO. This is the decision of our Ukrainian nation. This is in our constitution. We are paying a very high price for our European integration and to become in the family of European Union. And that is why Russians they hate democracy. Russian, they hate freedom. Russian, it's a dictatorship, it's a terrorist state. That is why, of course, everything what is about a civilized world, what about international law, what is about freedom, they will hate it and they will destroy it. That is why their goal, not only Ukraine, we see how they would like also to divide European Union. We see how by hybrid informational war, they also, unfortunately, they're poisoning European nations. And that is why, of course, we also are ready to share with this experience how to protect like European nations also. And regarding Hungary, of course, they are connecting because of cheap gas, because of cheap oil. But I think that it's really time of the truth. It's really time, as you have mentioned about our Ukrainian Olympic sportman, that, you know, for him, principles and values of his killed friend's sportman who has been killed by Russians, it's a value. And it's about remembrance. It's not a violation to remember that his friends has been killed, and that is why it's really about freedom. It's really about position. And when we're talking about Hungary, of course, everyone is expecting elections. We hope that it will be democratic, but I think that we, as Ukrainians, are ready to find compromise with Hungarians, but it should be based on EU and principles and values, and it should be based on democratic values and principles.
Understood. Thank you for that. Now, I'd like to move on, actually, because time is running short, on the Ukraine Defence Contact Group in the Ramstein format. Now, the Ukrainian delegation has actually come away with a number of promises in terms of money for military materiel. For example, the United Kingdom has offered 500 million pounds, the EU 90 billion euros, and so on. What is that money going to be used for? How and when is Ukraine going to receive it?
First of all, of course, we're very thankful for all the financial support what we are getting from our partners all these years of brutal Russian war. But it's not only about money. We understand that this is the complex of actions. It's also capabilities of production. It's also investments to Ukrainian military production. And I think that also what we need, and I think that we break this wall also last 4 years, because we also asked to simplify some rules and procedures inside European Union. Also, you know, to have a common criteria for Europe, for Ukraine on production, on our also weaponry, and on different procedures. So I think that we are on the way. It became more operative. First, I think that we are not very succeed on air protection, because all this money, also investments, it's really very important. But for example, the day before yesterday, Russians attacked and they destroyed a big plant, so many manufacturers, and it's also millions of dollars. That is why I think that priority for Europe, because it's also about Europe, should be to close sky. So we need to close sky, and we need protection of our sky. Unfortunately, it's lack. It's lack of anti-Shahed drones. It's lack of some kinds of air defense, also missiles. So we also understand that it depends not only on European production, it also depends on American production. So we have to be really more capable, you know, not to be a coalition of willing. We really have to be a coalition of capability and capable partners.
Coalition of capability.
Russia, they're very...
I think
Russians, they're very fast.
That's probably a good message to remember. Mariia, unfortunately, we're going to have to end it there, but thank you very much indeed for sharing your analysis with our audience.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Have a good evening, and
looking forward to see you again.
I look forward to it.
Thank you. Thank you.
And that brings us to the end of this episode of World Talks. Don't go away. World news coming right up. Bye-bye.